We like old adverts.
Hello and welcome to another episode of We Like Adverts. We are joined once again by marvellous Marcus Speller. And what we do on this channel is we find old adverts, we show them to you, and we all have a good laugh at how stupid they are. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, hit subscribe. So let's have a look at what we've got today.
That's not what could be Sven's best use of tissues.
Absolutely not. Of course, Sven advertised the world's leading brand of post-shag cleanup kit. Of course he did.
The look that he gave that guy when he walked in wasn't like, you've caught me doing something. He was like enjoying the fact that he was being caught. Like, being caught in that kind of situation.
Oh, dear me.
What it doesn't show was after... Like Sven scored that goal into the bin. That was in the first 5 minutes, and he just parked the bus for 85 minutes after that.
There we go.
It was really tough to watch.
Yeah.
Oh dear, it's just glorious, isn't it? At one moment, I'm not quite sure. I've watched the advert a fair few times. Is there a stunt double used with Sven at one point?
I think so.
100%.
Right. Okay.
He's not doing that round the world thing with a tissue. No.
I didn't. No, I didn't mean with the keep ups. Obviously, that's not Sven. But as in when he's celebrating, he's going and when he runs behind. When he runs behind the blackboard, it does look like it might. I'm not sure.
I reckon if they've got a stunt double anyway, health and safety nightmare to have Sven running around. Because what if he runs through the door and gets up to his old Svenny tricks? You never know. Who knows what kind of mischief he'll cause?
I reckon that Sven did all his own stunts and he insisted on it at first, a bit like Tom Cruise. He's like, no, I'll do my own stunts. Yeah. And then after he'd gone, they've gone, go get that stunt double.
Yeah, exactly. I think he probably insisted on a Spice Girl being in the advert as well, but it didn't quite. It didn't quite work out the way he planned, which is, I think, to the relief of everybody.
Entirely possible.
What was Emma Bunton using the tissues for in that?
Exactly. It's weird. It's the first person that comes to mind when I think of rock and roll abandon is Emma Bunton. Definitely.
But that I did look up. I looked into what this advert was all about because it's so unclear, and apparently it's supposed to be people showing a different side of themselves and like letting out emotions they may have inside, which is why you've got like tough guy Tom Hardy crying at a sad film. But you're right,
Bob Geldof doesn't usually laugh.
Well, no, that was the worst one. That's meant to be Bob Geldof like in a meeting, like
in a job interview,
demanding like that, they feed the hungry. But
I thought he was laughing at that sculpture that were behind the two fellas. It looks like a fanny.
They do just abandon the tissues for like the middle ones.
It's quite strange. So weird.
I did find it odd seeing Bob Geldof in it, as you say, in a sort of a board meeting or something, because again, you would think that he would be campaigning people. I always think of Bob Geldof on an open top bus or something with a megaphone. So it was quite strange seeing him in that situation. But at least he found the funny side of it, I suppose.
Apparently so.
It's weird. It's a strange cavalcade of celebrities, isn't it? It's like Stars in Their Eyes did an advert.
Yeah.
Really weird.
I do like old Sven being in there, though, as you say, doing, he's not behaving. He's usually much more cool, calm and collected.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought they missed a trick. They could have used an actual footballer catching him. You could have spend a few quid and have, David Beckham or something, just popping his head in there. That'll add a few more sales onto Kleenex, I reckon.
Yeah. Imagine being that person who would decide on buying Kleenex based simply on that.
Well,
David Beckham walks in like, oh, I'll get himself some Kleenex then. People are weird, aren't they?
But Joe, though, that when Sven Goran Eriksson became England manager, Ericsson phones sales went through the roof.
Really?
Genuinely, that sounds like that's a really crap gag. No, that is genuinely the truth.
And
they improved.
Corona Beer have had a really bad year.
They've had an awful year. They really have.
People really disappoint me so many times.
I mean, if you don't like football and you've got this far, do you want to do a little explainer on who Sven is, Mark?
Here we go.
Why this is so appropriate.
Globetrotting ladies man who now and then fitted in the managerial career.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty much.
But it sounds like James Bond.
Well,
oh my God, maybe he's a spy. Maybe he is like a James Bond figure. That would actually scan.
would it though? Because I mean, Sweden not known for having international enemies, are they?
Well, because he's doing his job really well.
That is absolutely, that's a fair point. I mean, yes, of course, he was England manager at the time of this. And has managed many teams over the years. He's a bit of an international man of mystery, very cool, calm, and collected. And I think with Sven, I don't know. I think in later years he's been aware of it, been a bit more self-aware. But I just think that he found it all quite amusing, or even bemusing, that he would go about his business, and my goodness, wouldn't he just? And people found this really interesting, quite funny, quite absurd, quite outrageous, especially in England. And he was a bit like, I don't get this. I don't understand this. But he was just sort of quite happy to go along and pocket all the cash where he could.
Indeed.
And didn't you ask him about his ladies' man status directly? That was fun.
Yeah, you tried, didn't you?
Well, we interviewed Sven, and I mean, he is utterly charming. He's wonderful company.
He was.
At the end of the interview, we were all fully naked and felt drunk, but of course that wasn't the case. But with Sven, he once apparently said, according to an ex-footballer, that he wanted to move to Thailand after his career was over and live with two beautiful ladies, presumably because one's just not enough for Sven. And I put this to him, and I thought, I made sure it was at the end of the interview, of course, in case. But of course, Sven, there doesn't seem to be any anger or malice or upset or anything sort of negative coming from him. And he just kind of chuckled and went, did he really say that? Oh, I think I'm too old for that now. And I thought, that's not a no, Sven. You know, it was a bit politician-like, the answer, so who knows what will happen. But he'll need his Kleenex if he does go down that route.
He must get through so much of the stuff, let's be honest. I hope they gave him a lifetime supply, because if anybody needs it, it is Sven Goran Eriksson.
What did you think of Tom Hardy in that advert?
It's weird when I'm not thinking about Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
He's such an arresting screen presence that it just shows how surreal the rest of the ad is when it's like, oh yeah, he was in it too.
Yeah.
You've got, Bob Geldof laughing in a job interview, Emma Bunton listening to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. With the sad music over the top of it, which is so jarring.
It was a bit of I know what you mean.
Tom Hardy, I think he's a great actor. He's really good in some stuff, but I'm not buying that cry. He didn't look like he were crying at all.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I thought Bunton was into it. I believe that. Geldof
buying Bunton.
Yeah, buying Bunton. Geldof, not so sure really. Hardy could do a little bit better.
Yeah,
and Sven, as always, 10 out of 10.
Without doubt.
First 5 minutes.
So thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. You're obviously the best ones. Marcus, you obviously do the football ramble with me regularly. You can catch that pretty much every day. And you do other stuff as well, don't you? Where can people hear you if they want to? If they want to, and I hope they do. Answerable Questions with Questionable Answers is a podcast I do with two of my lovely chums. We answer a question each week on a particular topic, and it is some of the finest podcastery you'll ever feast your ears on. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Marcus Speller. Thank you, Joe Connell. Thank you guys at home. Do leave us a comment as well if you have an advert you would like to see us talk about. All the details of how you can get in touch with us are in the description. So leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Sven Goran Eriksson.